through a few pieces of our project 1.1.5 design a game activity that we have in Project Lead the Way. All right. First off, I wanted you to read through the goals, the materials, and the introduction here that they give you. Note on the materials, though, that we aren't going to use exactly what they give us. We're going to give you the flexibility for this project to use what you find around the house. So if you find something that you want to use, I say completely go for it. The only thing I would say not to use is if you actually have like a carnival game already made up, because we want you making something, building something. So no pre-made materials. But other than that, if you want to use like some rings that you have around the house to maybe toss around some cones, I say go for that if you have it. Okay, so if we read through the introduction here, you're capable of reading through the guidelines on your own as well. And I want to get down here to our part where we talk about the deliverables. Okay, so deliverables are everything that we're turning in here. Okay, so we are turning in each thing here. Basically, it's like a checklist. And the way we are breaking up the project is we're going to go through everything on this checklist in the next 5 school days, okay? So don't worry about too much. It might look like a lot now, but we're going to break it up into like 2 to 3 bullet points a day. Okay, so today we're going to complete the design brief, and we're going to start our brainstorming and 2 initial concept sketches, okay? So first off, when we're talking about the design brief, okay, we haven't done it yet, but what a design brief is if you hit it here, you can read through it. It says it's a written plan that identifies a problem to be solved, its criteria, and its constraints. Okay, the design brief is used to encourage thinking of all aspects of a problem before attempting a solution. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to identify the problem. We're going to think of different ways to solve it. And then from there, then we can think about which solution we want to go with. But first, before we get into that, we need to define the problem, okay? So the problem will be defined by you guys, and you're going to put it in this template here. So if you click the template, this is what it should take you to. You're going to pull this into Notability, and you're going to fill in the missing blocks, such as designer, problem statement, and design statement, okay? Notice the criteria and constraints here are filled in for you, with a few things that will need to be filled in by you, hence the blank spaces. All right, and we're going to go through the different pieces here and what we want. All right, so writing the design brief, if you click that button there, will take you to this other page, and this will be very helpful when you're filling this out, okay? So you want to read through this, but the biggest things we want to note here are the first 3 blanks we have, which are designer, problem statement, and design statement, okay? So designer, I think you guys get the idea here. It's just the creative person who is designing a solution to the problem or addressing the opportunity. So in this case, it's you guys, right? The problem statement, it's a clear and concise identification and description of the design problem or opportunity, okay? So let's think about that again in different words here. You are going to identify what the problem is in this statement. All right, nothing about how you're going to solve it. That's when we move to the design statement here, okay? The design statement is the statement that describes the anticipated design effort to address the needs of stakeholders and problem statement. So this is how are you going to solve it? What exactly will you do and provide as part of your solution, okay? So problem statement, that's just the problem that we're incurring. And then design statement, how we're going to solve it. So in this case, for a design game, all right, think about what the problem might be. We're trying to create a carnival game, right? Read through the intro to think of what the problem is. The design statement is how we're going to solve it, okay? By creating the game board here and with XYZ components, okay? Reading through our guidelines is going to help with our design statement, okay? As for the criteria and constraints, read step C here. It lets you know what criteria is. It lets you know what constraints are. I won't go too deep into it, but you guys can read those on your own. And then we're going to think about this reflection question here. How are the game guidelines transformed into the criteria and constraints? And if you forget what the criteria and constraints are, just go to this design brief and read through them here. Okay? All right, so that takes us through how to make a design brief. We're just filling out the template and we're going to finish up that document here. Okay? That takes us on to generating concepts. Okay? Generating concepts, we've talked about this in the past, it's just researching, brainstorming, and then drawing simple concept sketches. Okay? So we don't need to be too much in detail right now. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is just a general idea that can communicate all of your design features that you're looking for. Okay? We want at least 2. Now we're going to do more than that because eventually we're going to get to this decision matrix tomorrow and I want multiple ideas there. But for now, just 2 concept sketches, jot down the rest of your ideas, make sure you're all good to go. Okay? So notice here in Canvas, we have all the steps laid out for you. Make sure we read through those. And then we have a submission here at the bottom of what we're looking for. Okay? So pretty easy first day. We're just completing the design brief and then some concept sketches. Tomorrow, we'll be moving on into picking which solution we want to go with and the process involved with that. All right? So thanks and stay tuned.